everybody, welcome back to Goonies World. I am Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean, and as always, here at the table with me is Ryan, also known as Mean.
Hello.
And my good friend Goonie, also known as Colin.
Hello there.
And today we're going to do part 2 of God is a Gun. But you know, before we jump into that, we should point out that if there is a game that you would like to hear us play, then you should send us an email at gooniesworldpodcast@gmail.com. And I imagine we could be persuaded to play something reasonable, wouldn't you guys say?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, especially if you send it something for free, we might play it.
Yeah,
Or something that sounds really fun to us.
yeah, even if it's a PDF. Yeah, if it sounds fun to us, then we generally like rules-like games, but we're happy to take a look at anything and get adventurous. And also, you know, just send us an email and just with any comments you might have, if you like it or if we're pissing you off or whatever. We definitely would like to know about that.
Yeah, but we won't be able to do anything about it for quite a while because we're pretty far ahead.
Yeah, we record
like that.
ahead. Yeah.
Also, please don't forget to punch that like button
Smash that like button.
and subscribe and click the little bell for
Yeah,
our notifications.
Just scroll down and hit that like button.
But we're not on YouTube yet.
That I was just
Yeah.
being
Yes.
stupid.
Yes.
But, well, you should, if you do like it, you should leave a review letting us know on whatever podcast platform you use.
I would agree.
And share it on all of your social media sites,
Every single one.
especially
Spam them.
Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and MySpace.
Because we're not on those. And we,
Yeah.
can you do our marketing for us, please?
Yes, we could really use free marketing. And so, obviously, that's you, the person I'm speaking to right now.
Our one listener.
Hello, Michigan. Hello, Portland.
Hello, Portland.
Hello, Portland.
We love you.
Yeah, shout out to Chocolate Velvet. At any rate, let's get back to the wild, wild west, or, as Hector von Moleskine would say, the wild, wild west, with God is a gun.
I'm wearing a wild vest.
I imagine you are. So, here we are, and as a recap, you guys had ridden into the town of Belligerence. Charlie Branson, the dapper African-American gentleman, and his his partner in crime, his partner in crime, Stinkfinger Jones, the gnarled and grisly old man with the cursed Navajo finger bone.
I think it was Apache, but whatever.
That's right, I think it was Apache, because this is Apache country. But you had met a German who was being lynched, and
I think it's actually a chicken bone.
It might be. I don't know if Stinkfinger knows the difference.
No, he definitely doesn't.
Well, you met a German named Hector von Moleskine, and he was not cut out for the Wild Wild West, but he had this crazy idea to steal a load of guns from a train that was coming through on the Sonora Pacific Rail Spur and possibly sell those guns south of the border to this rebel leader Modena, who's fighting this evil General Huerta. But first things first, you needed a crew, you needed everything else, and so you went to this town of Belligerence in Arizona, not far from the border, where you met Jesse Loveless and his special lady friend Kate Calhoun, and big old driver named Boog, and a very quiet mutton-chopped lock expert named Grim Freely, and had talked with them about robbing this train. They were there to meet this German who took off, leaving you with the rights to do this job, as it were. And so you picked up some dynamite, and Stinkfinger buried the dynamite under a little culvert bridge a couple hours south of town where the train would come through, and set up a detonator behind a clump of cacti where they keep an eye on the track. And then you guys rode back to town where you met Kate Calhoun, who pretty much demanded / blackmailed that they be deeply involved in this job. Then you went back to the tavern, or the saloon there, Guinevere Gould's public house, to make your plans with the Loveless Gang. And I think that we should just say it's the next morning, and you tell me what plans you made with them specifically. There was all kinds of talk about... I think you guys really didn't want them to know anything at all about the plan until the very last minute. What you really needed was their big wagon, and probably their help loading things up and doing crowd control. This train probably has some Pinkerton guards on it, and so on and so forth. But...
Well, what I'm gonna do is invite them all down to breakfast at the saloon, and we're gonna talk about it.
That sounds all right to me. And as you're mopping up some biscuits and gravy and having a little breakfast whiskey and so on and so forth, they're in the... in fact, you probably invite them over to the hotel. That's really where they do a nice breakfast, in the restaurant on the bottom floor of the hotel. So Jesse Loveless, after he mops up the last of... He's soaking up some egg yolk with a piece of bread, chews it up. All right, now listen here, Mr. Branson. You've been very secretive so far. Now, we know you're going to go for these guns, and we got a good idea it's coming through soon. Kate here says she talked to you last night, and you agreed to come up with a plan with us. Now, we're very honorable people here as far as thieves go, but you know you're going to have to sell these guns, or at the very least divide these guns up so that we can sell our portion, and I insist on completely equal shares for all 6 of us.
That's fine with me.
All right, now, are we going to divvy up the guns, or are we going to divvy up the money?
What are you guys coming to Mexico?
Well, if that's where the biggest sale is, I think that's your best bet. And you can sell them to the rebels. I'd just as soon sell them to the army. They'd just as soon buy them to keep them out of the hands of the rebels. But like I said, I'm not the brains of this operation. And I guess maybe we get the rifles first and then figure out what to do. But I want to know whether I gotta go with you to sell them, or whether you're gonna cut me loose with all 4/6 of the guns.
Well, I suppose we'll have to see. I don't know.
First things first, I see how you play it, very close to your vile vest.
But just side note, minor digression / tangent. I couldn't help but notice that you actually wrote "the vile vest."
Yes, I did.
Notes.
Yes, I did. I write my notes phonetically. I spell like Melville Dewey. Anyway, though, they're basically I don't know how you'll plan on doing it, and we don't need to waste too much time talking about a plan. But obviously, this amount of guns you're gonna have to load up on a wagon, and
I guess it's gonna depend on how this all plays out.
All right then. Well, you just let us know what you want us to do.
Well, I think they ought to come to Mexico, because we're gonna take them all down there, and I don't want the army getting a hold of them.
Well, now, what you want us to do during the robbery itself? It's all fine and good to talk about Mexico, but how do you want us to... Where do you want us in the actual robbery?
Well, I see. Once the tracks blow,
Well, they're gonna blow?
there's gonna be a boom,
Oh, Bug like big boom, says Bug.
and I suppose you're already well armed, so we're gonna have you come in and fight off any of these Pinkertons.
I hate the damn Pinkertons, says Kate Calhoun.
No, I imagine we ought to have the wagon somewhere right near the bridge there, and
Yes, Bug will put on opposite side of bridge.
Now we have people hiding in the wagon, I suppose.
Bug take wagon around bend. Yeah, Jesse Loveless, maybe I'll stay in the wagon and wait. Kate can run out when it stops. We'll follow y'all to see if you know where they got these guns. It could be in any freight car, though. I don't know how many Pinkertons they're gonna bring. I guess we'll just have to save that for a surprise, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen, I don't believe in over-planning these things. We'll just keep an eye on y'all and follow your lead when we get there. Now, it should be coming through today, early afternoon. You know, it's morning now, so and it was a couple hours away, so I imagine you'll want to finish up breakfast and get going.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning, or I was assuming, I guess, that we would get in position around noon and wait.
That's a good idea. Well, they finish up, and they all have their own horses, of course, except of course for Boog, who rides a wagon. And he's got 4 horses hitched up on that, and it's a big flatbed wagon with a little railing around it. He's got a couple tarps rolled up in the back. But Boog should be able to load at least 24 standard crates on here. Well, Boog has done much teamster work. All right now, Boog, don't get too friendly with strangers. This is Jesse Loveless.
I'm gonna talk to my friend here.
All right, talk amongst yourselves, says Jesse as he stands off a little bit.
Yeah, that bug fella doesn't appear to be too bright.
I don't think he's quite right in the head.
I suppose we could talk to him, maybe get him to do whatever we want for us.
I'm not exactly sure what you have in mind.
Well, I don't know, but it just seems like if there's someone that dumb, we ought to take advantage of. I don't mean in a mean way, but we're very vulnerable right now. You know, we want to have some backup. So maybe let's just talk to him. But how do we get him alone? I don't know. See,
Maybe you'll get a chance on the ride out there, who knows?
Oh, I'll ride on the wagon. Wait, no, they got their own horses, right?
They got their own horses. You can always hitch a horse to the wagon and ride. You know, I mean, ride the wagon and your horse be hitched alongside.
Yeah, I'll ride on the wagon and talk to him. See what I can find out.
Okay. Well, about an hour later, you guys are well into the ride, and morning sun's hot already. Down here is so close to the hot Mexican sun. And Bug goes, oh, Bug saw a butterfly.
They're all pretty, aren't they, Bug?
Yeah, Bug like flutter by.
Yeah, hey, so, how long you been doing this kind of work there, Bug?
Oh, Bug been driver for a long, long time, many Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, is that right? Yeah. Okay, well, so you've been working with this crew for a while, then?
Yeah, Kate's real nice to me.
Oh, yeah? What do you mean by that?
Oh, she always smile at me. Doesn't say, get away, Bug, you gross Bug, don't touch me, Bug.
Oh, is that a common reaction you get from women?
Oh, don't play with women. That's what Bug knows. Don't play with women.
Really? Okay, I see. All right.
It's not nice.
You like to play with men, then?
No, don't touch people if they don't want to be touched.
Oh, yeah, that's always good.
That's what Bug, no touching people that they don't like.
Personal space, Bug. Personal space. That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, butterfly.
Yeah. So, who actually pays you? Is it kid or?
No, pay fun.
Oh, really?
Jesse, invest Bug's money.
Oh. I got some bad news for you, buddy.
Oh.
Well, I don't know this for sure, but I have a suspicion where that money might be going.
Huh?
Yeah, well, you know.
Jesse trick Bug?
No, I wouldn't suggest that. It's just, you know, just making some notes here in my brain. Things to look into for you, okay?
Butterflies.
Yeah. That's right. All right, well, you know, I think we're gonna be there pretty soon, Bug, huh? Are you excited?
Well, we're there yet. Yeah, meanwhile, you're riding closer to Kate Calhoun, Charlie. She's looking back over her shoulder. It's like, the old man seemed to be getting pretty friendly with Bug.
Yes, he's very friendly man.
Well, he's just a simple boy. Don't be taking advantage of Bug now.
Oh, no. Wouldn't do that.
I'll tell you, Jesse wouldn't like it at all. He's real possessive.
I see you're one of his possessions, then.
Sometimes it feels that way. But I ain't never met a man who could lick him in a fight. That's the problem.
Have you met a man that could lick you?
Could and would, two different things. But,
Well, if you ever want to see what freedom is like, maybe you just remember my name, Charlie Branson.
hey now, says Jesse. He comes riding up. Y'all better not talk too much. I might get jealous. Wouldn't that be a hoot?
Oh, that's I would never even know, sir.
Well, after a while, you guys get to where you set the explosives the day before. It's around noon, and there is a little bend up ahead where Boog can back the wagon in, and he's out of direct line of sight of the track. And what do the rest of you guys do? Just hide behind the clump and wait for the...
I'm gonna.
You mean Boog? I'm gonna go into the bushes and sage and brush and hide by the detonator.
Okay.
Assuming it's still there, I will also check on.
Yes,
the
it is
dynamite.
still there. That's a good thing to check. But because you never know, Apaches could be watching you at any time. Everybody knows it. You never spot them, but they'd have to be real far away. And sometimes when you bury treasure, you come back and it's gone, and so on and so forth. But now, Charlie, do you want to hide around the bend in the wagon with the Loveless Gang, or do you hide behind the clump of cacti with Stinkfinger?
Yeah, I'm gonna hide with Stinkfinger, and I'm gonna ask him what he learned, of anything, talking to Bug.
Well, now, it sounds to me like Jesse might be taking advantage of old Boog there now, and Boog says that Jesse invests his salary, and I don't
believe that.
I don't imagine that's true at all. But I don't know. I mean, if we could prove it, we might be able to get Boog on our side.
In case things go south, we might want to have him, get our backs. Now, if we could offer him a payment instead of investing, or maybe is anything else he might want? Any sort of, I don't know why I'm saying this, but maybe some sort of insects that he likes. Or,
Hey, some kind of butterfly garden.
Sometimes these people of low intelligence are fixated on certain small things, bright and colorful.
He has a certain fondness for butterflies, for sure. Yeah.
Well, isn't that something? Maybe we ought to pay him in butterflies then.
Oh,
I think he'd rather have money, but I don't know.
As you're contemplating this, you hear from around the bend up ahead in the distance.
I hear that train a-coming. It's coming around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine.
And everyone here has, in fact, shot a man in. Was it Reno?
Yes,
Yeah,
just to watch him.
Just to watch him die. That's it. No other good reason. So we're supposed to have sympathy for this character in the song, right? Who's just shot a guy just to watch him die.
Sociopath.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you do hear that train coming, and it gets closer and closer and closer, and louder and louder and louder. You can see from your vantage point where Boog and the Loveless Gang is, and Jesse Loveless gives you a thumbs up, and you can see they're all ready to go, ready to run out the second that train stops. But it gets closer and closer, and of course, you got to time this just right, but
Well, I mean, not
really, I guess.
I mean, they're not going to have time to stop
It
regardless.
can't stop now. But I'll assume you hit that plunger, and there's only a 1 in 10 chance that something went terribly wrong and it won't work. So let's find out. because you'd have to be real unlucky. And the dice goes off the table.
Did you catch it?
I got it.
Goonie caught the
right.
dice, everyone. It was
Good catch.
highly dexterous.
Now,
Now Goonie's rolling it back.
Rolling back off the table on my side.
Here we
if
go.
I fail, it doesn't count because it's his roll.
No, if it comes up 0 on this 10-sided dice, then the connection did not work.
It does not. It is a 7.
Oh, good. The second you hit the plunger, there's a deafening explosion. The train does its best to screech to a halt, but with a terrible sound of grinding metal. The locomotive portion comes in and gently, well, not gently, but not too catastrophically, just face plants right in the embankment when the bridge is blown out. And I keep calling it a bridge, but again, it's not a very high bridge. It's like 4 to 6 feet, just going over a little culvert that was too hard to fill up. But it goes smash down into it. There's distant screaming from passengers on board. Now there's the locomotive, the little coal tender behind that, and there's 2 passenger cars, and beyond that are 2 freight cars and a little caboose. And so far, the whole first passenger, back to the first passenger car, it's kind of tilted a little bit to the left, but the whole thing's not fallen over, and nothing has exploded. There's just hissing steam, now immediately though, before you guys even do anything, the Loveless Gang's already screaming and whooping and shooting their guns in the air, chiefly Jesse Loveless and Kate Calhoun. The quiet, grim free, the lockman, you don't hear or see much of at all. But they're already running towards the train to secure they're running up to secure the actual locomotive part. What are you guys doing? And they'll do something different if you yell at her probably, but that's what they're doing. You can hear get on in there, get your hands up, boy. I'll shoot you right in the face, you get your hands up. What are you guys doing?
The first thing I'm gonna do is to put a bandana over my face.
Good idea. All right. What about you, Charlie?
Let them see. I mean, there's probably not too many other black folks anyways around these parts that probably know it's gonna be me.
All right.
There's not too many folks at all.
So, and I'm gonna ride out and kind of look and see if I can find which car has. It looks like a freight car.
Okay. Well, like I say, the last 2 cars before the caboose are both freight cars. So you ride up and start trying to look through the windows, things like that.
Sure.
Ride up on horse. Meanwhile, what are you doing, Stinkfinger?
I'm just jumping into the first freight car and looking for crates of guns.
Okay. You run over and you jump up into the first freight car. You run up to the door. It's already locked on. You make a body roll to shoulder your way through it. Meanwhile, Charlie, you're riding on down to the next freight car, I guess. Still on your horseback, peering into the windows, seeing what you can see. Make a mind roll while you're doing that. And it looks like Stinkfinger shoulders that door right open. And
nope.
well, the windows are all curtained up, like they don't want you to see in.
Yeah.
But that's a good clue in itself, because the other freight car that he just kicked his way into is not curtained up like that. That being said, when you shoulder the door open, there's a guy in a little bowler hat with a small gun raising up to you. He goes, "Freeze over there, mister. I'm a Pinkerton. You don't want to make any dumb mistakes." What do you do?
I say, I am not. I just wanted to, because the train's crashed, man. You gotta get off of here, man. It's crazy. It's pandemonium.
You back your way right out of here now. You back it
Do
on
I see
up.
any?
You are wearing a bandanas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know.
I should shoot him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because mostly it's luggage in here. Yeah. This is not where they're keeping the guns, but he's stationed here. Yeah. Oh well, there you go. He just rolled a 1. So
Second one in a row.
even though a Pinkerton agent is no slouch and might normally be entitled to dodge out of the way or something, that one's just going to take him right between the eyes. His little bowler hat falls off his head. Falls to the ground, and of course, right at that point, you hear gunfire erupting up towards the front of the train where the Loveless Gang is. Like somebody's lost their shit and something's going on up there. There's some isolated screaming. Meanwhile, what are you doing, Charlie?
I'm gonna just hop off my horse and go into the second car.
Okay.
Freight car.
All right. Now, of course, you could just like run on through this car
Precisely.
to go to the back.
As soon as the Pinkerton's down.
Yeah, and so right about the same time, by the time you notice that they're curtained off and you get off your horse, you're climbing up onto the space between the cars. Right about the same time, the stink finger is coming out of the last one. You look in, you see a Pinkerton laying on the ground, head bleeding on the freight car floor. And this other door is also locked on you guys. Do you guys want to shoulder it open?
Yep.
All right, well, you can both do it at the same time. It just increases your chance of success. Only one of you really needs to succeed, and boom! Oh, nice. This time, Charlie Branson just splinters that door with his shoulder. And as you stumble in, there are 2 Pinkerton agents in here. Both of them immediately open fire. Don't wait for any...
There's been other gunshots going on.
Yeah, they don't wait for any chit-chat, and they both open fire. Now, Charlie, one is going to hit you, and you can't dodge it because it's a critical success.
Now, this other previous scratch, do I sleep that off? Or?
You can sleep off a scratch. You can't sleep off a hurt, but you're scratched again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And of course, you do have these life points you can use if it gets worse to worse, but you were hit, and it stings. And the other Pinkerton fires at Stinkfinger, but Stinkfinger manages to dodge out of the way, and the bullet strikes the wall behind him. And what do you guys do?
Shoot right back.
All right, there's a terrible gun battle in here, and those are 2 hits. Now, both of my Pinkertons dodge out of the way, though. They duck down behind a crate of guns, and you can see there are 24 crates in here, all identical size. They've got to be guns. They probably, who knows how many are in a crate, but there's quite a few in here. They duck down behind the crates, though, and they're momentarily out of your line of sight. What do you guys do?
Now, do we have any cover?
Anyone. Yeah, there's just rows and rows of crates in here. So right now, you're both ducking down behind the crate situation. You can still hear the sounds of gun battle and Jesse Loveless like crazy laughing and Kay Calhoun screaming at the top of her lungs, like not hurt, but like scary screaming, and people begging for their lives. And you have this weird feeling they're going hog wild in the passenger cars.
Well, that's not great, but I mean, we are robbing a train, I guess. All right, well, I'm crazy. I'm just running, shooting the Pinkertons behind cover. I'm just running straight at them.
All right, and you hop up and start charging down. Both the Pinkertons pop up to fire. You're going to get one shot off at them as you're running, but they're both going to fire at you. And both of them are going to hit unless you manage to dodge and weave while you're running. And you dodge the first one. Will that second bullet a millisecond later tag you?
No, I critically succeed.
Oh, wow. In that case, you not only dodge it, but flip forward, your long beard and hair flowing, and land right on top of the Pinkertons. And what do you do then?
Shoot them!
All right, blam, blam! Okay, well, you're going to hit both of them. In fact, we're going to call that a hard roll at -2, which you succeeded at, just to blam, to blam the both of them, as we did in the Spy game. Look that one up. Anyway, you hit both of them, and from my perspective, the way you're jumping down right behind the crate, there's nowhere to dodge. That being said, if one of them rolls a 1, I can see them just getting totally lucky. Oh no, that's bad. And no, neither one of them are able to dodge. So that's 3 Pinkerton agents that you have personally killed now. Congratulations, because nobody likes the Pinkertons.
Nope.
And that's all the resistance or guard they had in this car. And even by now, the sounds of violence and gunshots have died out back behind you. But you can hear still women crying and things like that from the front of the train. But everything's kind of suddenly really, really calm. What do you guys do now?
Can we lift these crates?
Well, the 2 of you, yeah, you could lift one by yourself just to carry it a little way, but it's uncomfortable. You wouldn't want to carry it far. The two of you together can easily lift
I want to
one.
open up just one of them and take a look.
Yeah, and luckily there's a crowbar leaning nearby. You got to get in there and pop them open because they're nailed shut, and there's some straw. But in fact, there are a dozen repeating Enfield rifles in here. They got 15 shots in them. And, even the Mexican Army doesn't have a lot of guns of that quality. These are meant probably for those soldiers at Fort Lewis. Those same, soldiers who some of them were guarding the supply depot back in belligerence.
Is there any, I guess they were just guns. I was hoping to see if there was any, dynamite or anything else.
No, there's no dynamite, but there's another very large crate, a big square crate, that clearly from the stencils outside, there's about 100,000 rounds of ammunition in it.
Okay.
All right, let's get these loaded up.
And there would be 240 of these rifles altogether, because there's 24 crates. No, 248, right? 'Cause there's a dozen in each one, and there's 24 crates. Plus, so yeah, getting it loaded up, that's the real trick.
Well, can I quickly take one of these and load it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have this instead of my other rifle.
Sure. Yeah, but it's nice. Still got that new gun smell. The guns rule the world out here in the wild, wild west, that's for sure. Meanwhile, you had yelled, "Let's get this loaded up," and what do you do to make that happen, Stinkfinger?
Come on, somebody help me! Help me with these crates!
I'll help him.
Well, outside you hear the they call it a truck, but the wagon rolling up, and Boog, of course, is on it. He gets out, starts helping you guys load them up, and as you guys are loading up, you hear this little clicking sound. You turn around, and Jesse Loveless and Kate Calhoun are standing there, and Jesse goes, "I'm afraid we got to rearrange the deal. Now, I think maybe you boys don't deserve to die, but tell you what, you go ahead and put your guns down, you go ahead and take yourself a nice water skin, you just start walking north. And if you're real lucky, Kate won't shoot you in the back." "That's right, nobody messes with the Jesse Loveless Gang," says Kate Calhoun.
What are you talking about, messes with you? We didn't mess with you. We just did the thing we said we were gonna do.
No, you keeping us in the dark to the last minute. Plus, maybe I'm just doing it because I'm an evil son of a bitch. You ever think of that?
Oh, we've already thought about that a lot.
Boog doesn't. Boog thinks man is nice.
He's been taking all your money, Boog. He should be paying you. He stole all your money.
No, that ain't true, Boog. That ain't true at all.
He stole all your money.
No, Boog, that ain't true at all. I've been
did.
investing your money.
He's been invested in his crack habit. I'm shooting him.
He's been investing in butterfly killing poison.
All right. Well, that would take in all that confusion. I would say there's definitely a surprise shot. Go ahead and take your shot at Jesse. He won't be able to dodge this one because he's too busy looking at Boog. And is that going to hit?
That's a 6.
Oh no! Well, Jesse spins around, lands in the ground. Ugh, I'm hurt. I went right past scratched, and I'm hurt. So Jesse, as he lowers the ground, Kate screams at the top of her lungs and then fires her shotgun at you. Shotguns can't be dodged. Boom! She's gonna hit you, and you now scratched with a bunch of buckshot all over you. Charlie, what are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot Jesse.
All right, Jesse's trying to roll around out of the way. Fire at him. Go ahead.
No.
Oh no, you missed. Jesse rolls out of the way and pops up and fires back at you and hits you, but you could dodge that one. And when I say you, of course, I'm talking to Charlie, but he doesn't dodge it. Oh no, Charlie's hurt. Charlie is hurt. He's taking a bullet. And Boog is looking back and forth confusedly. And what are you doing, Stinkfinger?
I'm gonna say, "You're too pretty to shoot," and then I'm gonna shoot Jesse again.
Okay.
Ooh, just on it.
Oh, just on it. Jesse tries to roll out of the way, but he does not. And he takes the bullet. Jesse Loveless is dead.
Or dying, I guess, if he's got the thing.
That's right. He's dying. Thank you. he's dying. Because Jesse, as you have inferred, he's more like you guys. You know, little mooks are just dead, but not Jesse. But he's dying. He's bleeding out. He's like, you can see spitting up blood. Kate, with a cry of anguish, takes a hard shot at both of you with the shotgun. Just get out of the way, Bug! And misses wildly, maybe subconsciously afraid to hit Bug, but then bellowing like an ox, Bug jumps out of the wagon and tackles her. And he goes, "This time I play with girl!" And rolls around her and pins her arms behind her. "That's not nice, shoot our friend. Jesse's bad, steal my money." "Oh, Bug, you dumb son of a bitch, I'll kick her. He's got his hand over her mouth. Meanwhile, Grim Freely, the silent lockman who hasn't spoken at all, is just creeping away off into the distance, thinking better of this whole thing. Slinking away, probably never to seek revenge. But eventually Boog wrestles Kate into submission, and Jesse's crawling around almost ready to die, but he's got one last trick left in him, and takes a shot at Boog. Oh! And his gun... In fact, I'm going to read that. It was a critical failure. We're going to call it. He's out of ammo. It's just click, click, click. Then Boog sees absolute proof when he looks up into Jesse's eyes. And Boog, you killed Boog? No, Boog, no, it was a mistake. Boog, you got me all wrong. Boog. And Boog gets up and slowly strangles him to death right in front of you. And Kate just lays there crying. Well, and everybody on the train is still there looking out the window in horror at this whole tableau. But several of them are dead. You can still hear there's women crying in there. Jesse has a big bag with like gold watches and money and jewelry and things like that they've obviously extorted from the
I think we ought
passengers.
To give these items back.
Oh yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
I agree, but what are we gonna do with her? We have some ideas.
You go straight to hell. I don't want to hear about your sick ideas. Do your worst.
Okay.
Now I'm a gentleman. I won't allow any roughhousing.
No. Now see here. So there's a man coming out of the first passenger car now. He's got a preacher's collar on. He's holding a Bible in his hand. Now see here. These criminals must face prosecution. Thank you, gentlemen, for stopping by. We're so lucky that you came. Now, you realize that he's only seeing what's happened in the front of the car, and he sees you fighting with the people who just robbed them. This guy clearly thinks that you've come by to help them. But don't kill this girl now. She's going to have to face regular trial on a jury of her peers, says the preacher. We'll take her back to belligerence. And a couple of the other men run up from the car and tie her up, unless you guys stop them.
No.
But wait a minute. No, they don't understand. We robbed train. And, now you, boy, time for your turn. You have to take this big boy with us now. Come on. And they start coming up to Boog like they want to tie him up. What do you guys do? Boog don't want to go with them.
They've got a great butterfly collection. Just go with them now, Bug.
You must give your soul to God, Boog, says the preacher. Make a soul roll, Charlie, and you too, Stinkfinger, just for the way you're looking at him, you know. And did Charlie succeed? Oh, you both succeeded.
Yes, I'm gonna say, now, Bug, I know how you like butterflies, and I want to tell you that someday you're gonna be a butterfly as well. Right now, you're just a caterpillar. But someday, you're gonna turn into a beautiful monarch.
A tear runs down Boog's cheek. And,
in prison, you'll build a cocoon.
What? He says as he's dragged off by the angry passengers and the one railroad company employee who's still living, who Jesse didn't kill. They take Jesse's body. And they ask for your names and addresses. The rail company does, the guy does, so they can send you a reward. Do you give them like real addresses, or do you just
sure, I'm gonna take my reward. Charlie Branson.
Hotel Pompadour, belligerents.
Considering that they're going to inevitably rat us out in court, or at least try to.
Yeah, which she might already, but if you remember, she's gagged and she hasn't had a chance to talk to him yet. Kate probably would, yeah.
But assuming that perhaps there is some chance that they will not listen to
We'll just have to.
known criminal, perhaps I will be honest and give my address.
Okay, all right. Which really, the best you can give him right now is, Stinkfinger Jones. Was it Lucius Stinkfinger Jones?
Lionel
Stinkfinger Jones, Hotel Pompadour, Belligerents, Arizona. And that's where you guys are staying. So now it's obviously going to take a long time for them to, get things together. No one has yet noticed necessarily that your wagon is full of crates. It's parked way back down on the opposite side of the train in the back. But the passengers and the rail company yet have not noticed that their crates have already been loaded up. So I assume you guys will want to get the hell out of here.
Yes, I say we maybe want to hide these because before we go south, if that's what we're gonna do, I think we might want to silence this woman who might talk a little too much.
Well, she certainly might. Of course, as you've heard from Sheriff T.J. Smiley back in Belligerents, it's real hard to get to people once they cross that border into Mexico. Every now and then...
yes, but I plan on coming back and getting my reward.
Okay. So how do you plan on silencing Kate Calhoun?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we just cut it to Mexico and just never come back and we sell these, we're probably gonna be pretty loaded.
Yes.
We could probably, shack up with some senoritas and eat quesadillas all day. I mean, it could be great.
Well, they say that all the way down to South America, go down to Argentina, it's high quality living and you can live like a king down there on like $40 American a year. That's what they say. It's 1908 after all. So there are some pretty swank places down in South America. The only problem with Mexico is that right now Mexico is like constant civil war.
Yes, I might want to return someday to my native land here in the United States.
But in the meantime, I imagine you're not sticking around to let the survivors notice that you've got all the guns that came in on this train. So which way are you guys driving this cart while you're talking? South or north?
South.
All right. Okay, well, now south you go through some canyon country, but they're not big canyons, but there's plenty of good hiding places that you notice as you go through. You can search around and find a reasonable cave or something like that. But make mind rolls as you're going south through this canyon country. Nope. See if you notice anything in particular. But Charlie, high up on a ridge, you notice just for a moment a couple of silhouettes. They don't look like they're necessarily trying to hide from you either. And with their slow, languid movements and their long hair, you can tell that Apache are keeping an eye on you. There's at least 3 of them that you saw as you meander your way through the rest of the canyon country. Now, south of here, you should get to the river, and there's supposed to be a bridge at a Mexican village called Santa Cucaracha.
Yes.
But finding it, especially now that it's getting on to be dusk, could be tricky. So I imagine you need to do a little navigation, looking up at the stars, so on and so forth. Sometimes this kind of country will force you to go a little bit out of your way while you're looking for a good place where you can drive the wagon. So both of you make mind rolls to make sure you are headed nice and south. Oh, well, you got a critical success from Charlie. And so, if you had failed that, you could have become lost for a day or two just in the canyon country. But luckily the south just calls you like a beacon.
I can see the North Star, and I just go the opposite way.
Well, that's exactly what you do. And not only that, but every pathway just opens up before you, like every time you take the correct turn. 'Cause like I say, in this kind of hilly, warped, and sort of wrinkled country, you're kind of forced to go east or west sometimes when you really want to just go south. But boy, everywhere you go is just easy riding. By the time, just before dawn, in fact, you can see the glow and the rising steam off the Rio Grande, and beyond that, Mexico. And there's a bridge over the Rio Grande, and a decent-sized Mexican village beyond it. It must be Santa Cucaracha. But there's already, some, you can hear the cocks crowing, and there's a church there, like a Catholic church, but it's all burned out. And there's definitely been some damage. There's some gallows hanging up with people swinging from the gallows around this village and the burned out church. And basically crossing the bridge takes you right into the town. I mean, you could obviously then leave it, but what do you guys do? You want to cross the river and go into... Now, so far, there's no posse on your tail or anything yet, but those guys would have taken quite a while. You probably got at least a couple of days head start. And like I say, legally, they can't go over this bridge.
I think the thing to do at the moment is just to go straight into it.
Yeah, what time of the day is it?
Well, it was before dawn when you first saw it, but it's just about dawn. The early dawn, the cocks are crowing.
Oh, that's right.
And the cocks are roaching and everything else. But as I said, there were some people swinging from gallows, like a half a dozen people that have been hung here from gallows. They're just swinging in the morning. And as you go into the town, as I say, there's obviously been fighting here recently, because some of the houses are just shells and burned down, look at piles of adobe bricks. And like I said, the church is kind of burned out. But you notice now as you get up closer into the town, there's some people lazing around on these steps of that burned out church. They're actually soldiers, Mexican soldiers, and they stand up. There's maybe about half a dozen of them sitting out there. There's a few peasants who look at you with surly and fearful glances. No one rushes up to say hello to you, except you do hear some laughter from an alley. There's an old telegraph office there, but the telegraph pole and everything, and the train's all like torn down. Hey, what you got on the wagon, man? And you look over and there's a chubby Mexican dude in a poncho, even though it's hot, sweat running down his face. He's drinking tequila, even though it's like morning. You think he slept outside, up in this little alley next to this old burned out telegraph office. Well, hey, you got any tequila? I'm almost out.
Afraid not.
No, don't have any of that.
Well, have a drink on my last drink of it. I will never... have a nice swallow.
I don't drink and drive.
I drink and drive, eh? Oh, Andres likes to have a drink in the morning.
I'll drink. I'll let Jesus take the wheel.
That's right, Jesus. He's always a good driver. Here, have a drink.
Not your Jesus.
Drink with Andres. No, my Jesus, your Jesus, everybody's Jesus. Except not anymore. His house has been devastated. Look at it. And he gestures down, at the other end of the town where there's the burned out church. The soldiers come in and they burn down the church. And now look at them over there drinking their tequila in the morning like regular loafers.
Hard to hear that.
Yes, they come in and they sleep with other women. Andre's the only man left in the town. They think Andre's stupid, so they don't mess with me. But it's all women here now, because all the men are dead. Look at them. And he gestures up to the gallows. If only we could get to General Modena. He's starting the glorious revolution, but Huerta's man here with the Comandante. They're very terrible. They had a big funeral today, in fact, for little Pablo. Little Pablo refused to shine the Commandant's boots, so they kill him. Uh-oh. He ducks behind your wagon, because two of the soldiers are swaggering up toward you. Their gait's a little unsteady. Like they're either hungover or still up from last night. Their shirts are like open with their hairy chests. They're not, spick and span uniforms, big sweaty armpits. And hey, what you got on the wagon, man? One of them says in English, what you got on the wagon, gringo?
I'm not a gringo.
Close enough. You come from that way. Plus, you got this dirty old gringo with you. Yeah, what you got on the wagon, gringo? You got foodstuffs, eh?
No, don't have any food or anything. We're just passing through.
Yeah, it's manure. Unless you eat manure.
No, maybe you gotta pay the tax to come through Santa Cucaracha.
Oh, how much is that?
That's 70 American dollar.
What?
80 American dollar.
I'm afraid to make any more noise.
You don't want the Commandante to come down here. He likes to sleep late. If we wake him up, fine will be much more, or the tax will be much higher. Maybe we look and see what you got in the wagon, eh?
Maybe we'll pay your tax if you leave us alone.
Hey, that's all. You just got to pay your taxes. The war is not free. The people down here, they need to be taught a lesson, eh? And he gestures at the people swinging on the gallows.
I don't have any money left. I think I've only got like $20.
Yeah, you guys don't have any close to $70. Maybe I just take a quick look in the back, eh? He walks.
Let me get the money out.
What do you get down off the wagon? Or you just...
Yes.
Okay. And he's walking around to the back of the wagon. Andres is backing up slowly, making an uh-oh face. And he looks at the stencils on the crates. Well, they're under the tarp, of course. But he lifts up a part of the tarp and looks at the stencils in the crates. And then
Now just hold on a minute.
looks
there.
over at you with his eyes wide. And what do you do then?
I'm getting your money. Let me find it.
And he can see what they are, though, because the stencils in the crate. He knows they're guns. That's why his eyes are wide.
Now, which one was he? Was he
He's
the...
one of the two soldiers, but he looks at the other one and says something in Spanish to him, and the other one turns and begins to trot back towards the church. There's no one else out in direct view. If you can handle this quietly, maybe you could buy yourself some time. But
Well, I said I'm getting my money out. Just have patience. We gotta had it hidden so the Patchy didn't come and find it, or someone else.
and
Now, where did I put those bucks?
so meanwhile, the other guy's he's about halfway back to the church now. So whatever you're getting out, what are you getting out?
No, I was trying to. Well, they're not falling for it, I guess. So, they're.
Well, now they know you've got guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we just sell him the guns?
Eh? Says the guy. You
Well-
brought these guns to sell to the general? Or to the commandante?
Could sell them, but I think why would they?
Oh!
Why would they buy them instead of just taking them?
Do you know the German?
I know one German.
Yes, our German says waiting for his agent to bring the guns.
Okay.
You work with the German?
Well, we had business together, I suppose.
Oh, and
Yes.
he stands up and salutes in a sloppy way real quick, and there's this huge Mexican guy, soldier, with all the, bling all over his uniform, but even it is all stained and sweaty, and he's unshaven. He's got watery red eyes, and he's the commandante. The other guy's gotten to the church and fetched him. And there's about a dozen Mexican soldiers that come out after him, all in various states of dishevelment. What, did you mention the German?
Yes, the German.
I am the Commandante Crispo. Do you have the guns from the German? Ah, he rips off the tarp. Hey, look, mis amigos. And they all clap. Oh, our German will be very happy to see this. Come, you will feast with us, eh? We have many bottles of tequila for you.
Well, okay, I guess this sounds good, but this is a little unusual, but okay.
Well, some of the soldiers take the bits and, in the mouths of the horses and begin leading the whole wagon back towards the church. And when you come back around the yard into the church, you see the back of the church has all been burned out, and there's like grass growing up where, in between the pews and things like that where there used to be. And there were about a dozen Mexicans walking with you, Mexican soldiers. As you walk past the villagers, they all give you these sullen, hateful looks from their windows of their huts and doorways. And when you get behind the church and look out before you, blocking the front of the church, block the view of this from your street, but there's this immense German tank back there behind the church. And you can see a German officer in a Rolls Royce, brand new, Rolls Royce. Very early car, of course, but they had them. And he says, And introductions are made between this Commandante Crispo and I would like to introduce Colonel Crisp of the Imperial German Army. So, says Colonel Crisp, what happened to von Moleskine?
He went home.
What? Von Moleskine is one of my best agents. He was arranging to bring this shipment to us.
He's not cut out for this kind of life. They strung him up and they were gonna kill him.
Well,
So he went back to Phoenix.
he has his part to play, just like everyone else. So, I suppose you're looking for your payment for the guns.
I was hoping we could come to an arrangement, yes?
Well, don't worry. I must, of course, send a telegram. So I must send a rider south to send the telegram to get the money. You will be our guest for a few days, yes? We have excellent
Yes.
accommodations for you. And he snaps his fingers, and all of a sudden you hear the sounds of dozens of guns being raised, and you turn around and look into a sea of guns. Every single soldier is aiming them at you, and the German begins to laugh. And then the Commandante begins to laugh. And then all the soldiers begin to laugh. And as all of them laugh at you, our screen fades to black, and we're just going to have to leave this episode behind and find out what happens next time.